5 things at 23 years old that I wish I knew at 18. First thing, there's a balance between long-term and short-term thinking. My whole life, I've generally thought more long-term. I'm always thinking of what's happening tomorrow, what's happening a week from now, months from now, what's happening in a few years, where do I want to be in a few years, what are the things that I want to be doing, who is the person that I really want to be. However, long-term thinking isn't always the answer. It's essential that you stay in the moment. Okay, I'm going to get pretty personal now and say that at 23 years old, I've actually never had a serious girlfriend, and it's my long-term thinking that has mostly gotten in the way of that. I've dated and hung out with a lot of different girls, but I've never taken that step to the commitment, and it's because of that long-term thinking that I never really did. Or a girl that I did want to commit to didn't like me back. But think about this. Maybe there was a girl that liked me in my senior year of high school, but I thought, well, I'm going to college, I'm going to a whole new environment, I'm going to meet tons of new people, so I can't do anything like that. Likewise, right before I studied abroad in Luxembourg, I remember going on dates and thinking, well, I can't commit to that because I'm going to study abroad and I'm going to travel and I'm going to do all this different stuff. So I can't commit to that. And that cycle repeats when I study abroad in Japan. And even when I'm in Japan, I say, well, I'm going home in a few months, so I can't commit to anything here. In all of these scenarios, my long-term thinking outweighed my short-term thinking, and I wish that I had thought a little more short-term. I found myself writing somebody else off just because I didn't think that it was totally going to work long-term. Maybe there was one thing and I would think, well, that's going to be a problem later, so I may as well just not address it now, sort of nipping a potential conflict in the bud. But who knows if that conflict would have even happened? Who knows if any of these things that I had thought in my head would happen later in the future? I try not to live life with regrets, but I really do regret not pursuing maybe certain girls, certain opportunities, because I was thinking too far ahead into the future. If I had just thought short term and said, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen, but let me give it a shot, then I think I could have grown even more as a man. These days, I really try and balance short-term and long-term thinking. My goal is to at least try. Maybe I have some hesitations, but I have to at least put myself out there in that situation and just see what happens. I promise you, you're going to grow a lot more as a result of just taking that first step, going out of your comfort zone, and maybe going against your long-term thinking. Don't get me wrong, I still think long-term on most things, and I think everyone should, but like I said, there's a balance. Number 2, the things you want to do in life aren't going to do themselves. You have to do them. And this is tough because sometimes we fool ourselves into thinking that, hey, maybe we've already done it because we had a dream that we did it, or we just love the feeling of thinking about that we have done something, but we don't actually do the thing. And there's a bit of a disconnect between our dream self and our real self. I touched on this a little bit in my Discipline Equals Freedom video that I did on Jocko Willink's book, and it really is true. You are the only one that can do the things that you want to do in life. Nobody else is going to do it for you. For example, I'm a big tennis player, and when you're playing singles, it's you against the other guy. Nobody else can sub in for you to win that match. It's all up to you. I might have a lot of ideas for a lot of different things. Maybe it's a screenplay, maybe it's a YouTube video, a song, but an idea isn't a script, an idea isn't a video. You can't stream an idea on Spotify. Yes, I am 23, but I'm just glad to be in the process of actually doing the things. For example, I just recorded my first song and shot my first music video with the help of my friends Steven and AJ, and I'm stoked to be releasing that on my music channel, so if that's something you're interested in, more in the description below. Number 3, just do it. Wait. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because everyone's like, oh, just do it, you just have to do it. But I hate it when people say that because it is so much easier said than done. It's like, oh, you just have to do this. Yeah, but what about this and this and this and this? So instead, I'll say this. Number 3, you have less to lose than you think. I'm gonna take it back to girls for a second, or men, or whoever you may be interested in. if you approach someone that you're interested in, what really is the worst that can happen? In my mind, I've always thought, oh, she'll think I'm a creep, or I'll get embarrassed in front of a lot of people. But really, the worst thing that can happen, in my mind, is you ask for a number or social media, and she says no. And it's just that feeling of rejection. But in a way, you should have a sense of pride because you at least tried it. Well, the only thing that maybe could be worse is if you ask for a number and you didn't know she had a boyfriend, and then maybe the boyfriend shows up. But it's not like he's going to beat you up or anything, especially in bars or public settings that just have a lot of different people in there all the time, like a student center at your university. There really isn't much to lose because it's not like there's going to be all these people that you know right beside you and seeing it happen and posting videos. You have less to lose than you think. You can weigh it in your head, but I really think there's not a lot to lose. So just give it a go because you're going to be feeling regret that you didn't try it a lot later in the future. Number 4, never compromise your character for something. And if you feel like you do need to compromise your character and be someone you're not, then that something isn't worth it. Maybe it's someone you're interested in. Maybe it's a group of people that you want to hang out with. I don't know, maybe it's some certain thing you want to get into and you feel like you have to change who you are. But I don't think that's the case. I'm all about personal growth. I'm all about changing who you are if you're dissatisfied with yourself. But when you're changing your character, when you're changing your morals, changing who you are just to fit something else, some idea of success or popularity that you want to be in, it's not worth it. I'm going to get a little personal again. When I was in high school, I'd like to think I was pretty well thought of, but I wasn't the most popular person. I never drank, I didn't party. I did have a fantastic group of friends who I'm still friends with today, and I love them all very much. But when I got to college, I thought, well, I already have awesome friends at home. Maybe I can become this super popular guy in school. So I went to more parties, went to bars, drank more. I found myself getting into situations or hanging out with people that I really didn't want to be like. And that was pretty short-lived. I realized that I didn't want to compromise my character for something that I thought would make me cooler. I'm pretty cool the way I am. And don't get me wrong, I do love going out and I do love hanging out with friends, partying, all that sort of stuff in moderation. But I didn't want it to become the focal point of my being because that was way less cool than I thought it was maybe when I wasn't doing it in high school. Don't compromise your character. I think you're pretty cool the way you are. And if you want to keep growing, if you want to branch out of your comfort zone, do new things, better yourself in the process, then I encourage you to subscribe to this channel because that's what we're all about here, is growing, learning, traveling, understanding, seeking out the secrets of the world, and just trying to become the best version of ourselves and do all the things that we have set out to do. But first, the final thing that I wish I knew when I was 18. Number 5, maybe a bit controversial. At some point, you have to do it for yourself. Yes, it's good to live for others, but at some point, you have to do it for yourself. If you're in line at the grocery store and you keep letting everybody else cut you, you're not going to make it up to the front. And that's just one analogy, but you can't live life 1000% for other people. And again, I know that might be a bit controversial, but if you don't follow your own path, if you don't drift away from the crowd, if you don't, dare I say it, if you don't cut the line, you're never going to get to that fulfilled place that you want to go. Yes, it means you're going to hurt some feelings, but you can't live your whole life without having a hater. You focus on being the best version of you and stick with it. But some people aren't gonna like that you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Maybe they're jealous, envious, or they just don't like what you're about. You're gonna have haters, maybe a lot, maybe little, but the thing is that they're just gonna be there, and that's okay. Let's say you're unhappy in your job and there's an opportunity to get a higher paying job that is going to be more satisfactory to you. You have to leave your old job for that one, and it doesn't matter if people at the office are going to get their feelings hurt or they're going to really miss you and say, we really need you. You have to do what's best for you. I think that doing it for yourself and becoming that person that you really want to be is actually the way that you can live for others the most. Because if you're having success in your own regard, in your own career, in your personal life, in your relationships, in your business, whatever it may be, you're going to be able to help so many more people as a result of you just following your path, following your vision, staying true to your character, and doing it for you. If you're 18 or younger and you just made it through these 5 things, then you're in for some amazing things ahead with this new mindset. But even if you're older than that, I'm still confident that these can change your life. It's never too late to start something new. I just saw something the other day about an elderly lady who, after her husband passed, she ended up just playing and learning the piano every day and became a pro. It's never too late to learn something because it could transform your life. Remember that it's okay to make mistakes along the way because that's how we learn lessons. I believe in you. I know you can do this.